Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Carrie and this is Clean Eating Kitchen, where I share easy, real food recipes that support your health. And today I have another Instant Pot recipe for you. This one is really awesome because it's Instant Pot Cauliflower Mash. And if you didn't know, cauliflower can be a wonderful substitute for potatoes. But for many people, they need to avoid potatoes because they might be too high in carbs or they might be too high glycemic. I personally love potatoes, but I also love cauliflower. Sometimes I even mix potatoes and cauliflower to make a potato mash. But today we're just going to be making straight 100% cauliflower mash. We're going to use the Instant Pot. It's going to be a one-pot dish, which of course is always terrific because that means for super easy cleanup. And one of my main goals with this channel is to show you how easy it can be to eat healthy food. And cauliflower is a wonderful vegetable. It's a cruciferous vegetable. It's a lot like broccoli, but because of the way it's grown, there are these big leaves that cover the white cauliflower and they prevent it from being exposed to the sun, and therefore the chlorophyll doesn't develop like it does in broccoli. So it's essentially a white broccoli. And I feel like cauliflower has a much milder flavor than broccoli as well, and that's why it works so well as this faux mashed potato. But to start, what we're going to do is grab a large cauliflower. You can also buy those pre-washed bags of cauliflower florets. In this case, I had a large cauliflower that I wanted to use for this recipe. And so the first step would be to break the cauliflower into florets. You might need to use a knife to help break up the cauliflower and then use your hands to kind of break it up. That's how I usually do it. And then I put the cauliflower florets into a colander so then I can wash them before we end up cooking them. And so after you have the cauliflowers in the colander, just give them a quick rinse in your sink. Just get off any dirt or any little excess pieces of the leaf that the cauliflower comes in. Just make sure that your florets are all nice and clean. And you don't even need to pat them dry or anything. Just give them a quick rinse. And then the next step would be to add the cauliflowers into a 6-quart or an 8-quart Instant Pot. And of course, first you put the stainless steel pot inside the cauliflower, add the cauliflower florets plus 3/4 of a cup of water. And normally I always recommend using 1 cup of water whenever you're cooking in the Instant Pot, but because the cauliflower does have a lot of its own moisture, we only really need about 3/4 of a cup. And be sure to use filtered water if you have that, because this water, not only is it going to steam the cauliflower, but we're not going to drain the water. It's going to become part of the mash. And so you add the water and the cauliflower florets, lock on your lid, and set the time to only 2 minutes. And that's going to make the cauliflower super soft and ready to make into a mash, but it won't be too mushy or overcooked. And so after the cooking time is complete, I recommend using the quick release, just again so the cauliflower doesn't get overcooked. And of course, you always need to be careful because of the steam that can come out of the Instant Pot. So carefully do the quick release, carefully remove the lid because there can still be a lot of steam. And then what we're going to do is just add a few other ingredients, and then we're going to have our cauliflower mash. So I like to add about 2 tablespoons of a healthy fat. If you're on a paleo diet where you're avoiding dairy, you could use ghee, which is actually just kind of the equivalent of a dairy-free butter. It's had the dairy solids removed. Now, if you have a dairy allergy, I probably wouldn't recommend using ghee, but what you could use would be a vegan butter, or you could use coconut oil. you can really use whatever healthy fat that you like. You could use like a coconut cream, you could use a cashew cream, but about 2 tablespoons is what you need. And then I also like to add 1/2 of a teaspoon of sea salt and about 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. And then what I like to do, rather than transferring it to a food processor or a blender, which you can also do, but I find it easiest, you can either just stir it really well and you'll find that it turns into a mash, or I like to use my immersion blender. And I think a potato masher would work really well too. So you'll find that the cauliflower is so soft, it just takes a little bit of effort, and what you have is a creamy, delicious cauliflower mash. It looks just like mashed potatoes, and quite honestly, it tastes very similar to mashed potatoes. It doesn't have the starch, which I actually kind of like about mashed potatoes, but it is a low carb, low sugar, wonderful side dish that you can serve pretty much with any main dish that you would serve mashed potatoes with. So I hope that you enjoy this Instant Pot Cauliflower Mash, and if you like this video, please subscribe and click that little notification bell so you're notified of all my new videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.